What's up, guys? Dehvin Simms here, back with another live stream. On this channel, we help men with traveling, life, finances, and self-improvement. Do remember to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out. Also, guys, don't forget to also follow the private Facebook group as we get together to share our experiences with the world. The link will be in the description below. We have a great guest here, and his name is Kyle, and he's here to talk about Tokyo. It's going to be a good one. So, Kyle, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yo, my name is Kyle Reed. Originally from South Side of Chicago, currently living in Vegas. Um, and yeah, what do you want to know about me?
So, what made you have the interest in Japan?
Well, it really started with I just had a I don't know I had a interest after being introduced to non-mainstream animes early on. I would say back in like 2013, and because the only animes I really knew of was um, Dragon Ball Super, of course. I mean Dragon Ball Z at the time, and just the stuff that everybody knew. But then I got introduced to stuff like Death Note, and that started a domino effect into other animes where I noticed that a lot of the elements in these anime cartoons showed actual accurate Japanese culture. Like their cities were based on like real Japanese like districts and everything. So I was thinking, that'd be cool to actually go out and visit Japan. My little brother and I just thought about it. Made it a goal. Again, this was like back in 2013. We actually ended up going out and visiting officially in November of 2015. Um, and what encouraged me, actually, one of close friend of mine, I'm gonna drop his first name, is Elijah. He went out there with his wife. Was just taking a bunch of pictures, just had the time of his life. And I was like, why not? So it was actually one of my first big travels that I really. I'm glad that that I actually took that leap to go outside my box of awareness, and then just leave the country and visit somewhere like Japan. It's like, to me, that was like it was scary. Luckily, we had some people. I used to be involved in dance and music like way back, and that people that lived out here that were originally from Japan. So biggest thing that I tell people: you're going to travel to a different country, travel in groups. As simple as that, and travel with somebody that's actually knowledgeable of that country that you're going to. You never want to be ignorant going anywhere because you don't want to offend people.
Mm. Oh wow! I know for the anime, man. I actually used to watch it as well. Well, I still do actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
What's
it's
actually
addicting.
surprising is many people don't actually talk about that, man. It kind of like it kind of I don't know, man. It's like they put it on like the back burner just so you don't actually get like judged in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but
It
I
makes a
used
lot of sense. It makes sense.
yeah, because I actually used to watch Zatch Bell and Dragon Ball, man. I
Hmm.
don't know if anybody knows the Zatch Bell series, man. I used to like that with the spell books, like the
Yeah.
spell casting and stuff.
Hmm.
That joke was raw, bro. Like,
Yeah. I'll tell you, people don't understand. Like, there's a lot of like, we talk about Black Force energy, man.
yeah,
The anime, they got some shows that be on some Black Force energy, but if you the thing that I like about anime the most is they're able to really grab your heartstrings and attach you and tie you to characters, and you actually see character development, and then um you see just the story evolve. Like, of course, when you watch animes, the first episodes are always, of course, are pilots, but they're always like, what the heck is this? But then I tell people, give a rule like, hey, give yourself about 2 episodes, and that will tell you if you need to invest in it or not. But I personally believe that anime isn't talked about in a lighting to where it's like, hey, my name is Kyle, I like anime. People don't really like put that as like, oh, this is something I'd like to talk about, because we were seeing like in growing up, that just wasn't something popular that is going on. But with culture now in America, anime has become more mainstream. An example, you got viral YouTubers like Caleb City, recently retired YouTuber, and Long Beach Griffey. Shout out to them. RDC World One. These people, they're perpetuating anime into our normalcy. So it's just a really big. That's I think it's starting to come out just a little bit more. People are more comfortable to talk about it.
Yeah, that was always really interesting too, because when I was growing up, man, I actually like it began all in like I think middle school, man, like high
Yeah,
school when I was playing
yeah.
football. And I've always been that kind of like that fun guy to be around, man. We just talk about everything, man.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, man, it's been an interesting experience. Yeah, but like you were saying, man, like the first 1 or 2 episodes is usually that's when you start to like really understand like it kind of grabs you into the episode and actually the series. But
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's
Because
always a great
it
experience.
starts as like a WTF moment. You're like, what the heck am I watching? And
Yeah.
then it's just, I would say the biggest WTF was for me was dang, it's a tie between Tokyo Ghoul and Attack on Titan with the first episodes. Like, of course, Attack on Titan, the dude, which when you see these big, naked, muscular, anatomy monsters coming in, this little kid, Aaron, watches his mother get eaten. Everybody's getting obliterated. And you're just like sitting there, like, what the heck is going on? It started off so fast, and the same thing with Tokyo Ghoul. It starts off with a fight and kind of like a monologue of what's going on. It's just, and yeah, and again, watch these two animes. If you guys don't know what Tokyo Ghoul and Attack on Titan is, please, like, definitely, you can find them on Hulu. You can find them on Crunchyroll, on Funimation. Just, if you're into anime, I definitely recommend those two.
Yeah, I watched both of them, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Like the episode right now on Attack on Titan, I'm like up to date, and dude, it's just like, what the heck,
Yeah, man. I like the first season of Tokyo Ghoul. The second season,
Mhm. That's what
it
my
was
wife said,
okay.
and that's the funny thing too. Going deep into it, like we talked about, how not a lot of people like talking about anime. Dude, well, I got married back in 2018. I've been dating my wife since 2016, and funny story with that, we've been lifelong friends and stuff. But her only exposure to anime was Sailor Moon,
Oh
and she
yeah.
knew of Dragon Ball, right? But then I introduced her to stuff like, I put her to some deep heavy anime. It was called Devilman Crybaby, and it shook her. She's like, "Yo, this is what anime is like." And then I put her on Death Note, and then from there it just took off. She just found interest. She would like do research on, like, what happens. Like, there's a cliffhanger and like the season hasn't started. Like, the manga is far ahead, and she just doesn't want to wait for the second season or whatever. She'll like research the manga, start reading manga. I'm like, and I'm like, I sit back. I'm like, okay, my job is done. I've done my part.
Yeah, it's a whole new world in anime, man. I was like, wow, I'm missing out on this.
Oh yeah. Oh
Let me
yeah.
step right in this, man. And
Right.
that's what
Like,
actually, yeah, that's what actually gives you that network as well, man. In terms of like having great people around you who share similar interests. It's always a great thing to have.
exactly. If you can teach somebody something, they can teach you. That shows mutual value, and that's what we need to pride ourselves when it comes to relationships. Well, like even friendships. Like we talk about relationships. What do you bring to the table? That's the same thing you got to bring it to when it comes to, like, you yourself are an entrepreneur. I myself, in a sense, am an entrepreneur. I cannot disclose where I work for certain reasons of contracts that I've signed. However, I am in the investment brokerage firm, and or that the financial industry, and something that you notice, like when it even comes with clientele, like for yourself, when you find clients or find business partners or people to invest, it's all about what do you bring to the table. It's all about mutual value.
Mm, that's the truth, man. Mm, man.
Sorry, I don't mean to get deep like that all the time, but it's like, hey, let's we'll lighten it up just a little bit, Let's, you know,
No
like,
problem, man.
and just to throw this out there for everybody that doesn't watch anime, that thinks of the stereotypes. Anime is not just fat titties, bro. I mean, there's a lot of anime that is fan service. High School DxD, is very big on fan service, but it gets deeper than that. It's just, you just gotta get past the stereotypes and just dive in. The safest anime to start with is Death Note. Like, it's my favorite. My favorite stories are always the you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and that's what attracted me to anime when I like Death Note, Code Geass, and all that stuff.
Mm. So what actually drew you to Tokyo? Why Tokyo?
Tokyo, because it, it was the most, to me, it was the most commonly known mainstream country. Like when you think of Japan, like of course there's places like there's a numerous amount of countries that I had no idea of. I just knew about Tokyo. But just the simple just the busyness. I would say the most fun part for Tokyo was, one, we arrived there, it was nighttime, so we were all kinds of messed up. We stayed in this hotel. It's called a Capsule Hotel. It's like a type. I for life I still don't know the name of the hotel we stayed at. And just to kind of like bring light on everything. One thing I realized about these Capsule Hotels, they did not build it for people built like me. And what I mean by that is I'm a 6'2", 200-pound male who, when I see this capsule, it looks like the same type of capsule that Goku kind of grew in Dragon Ball Z. It was cramped, and like my brother and I, like we went, we saw what the pictures are, so we knew we couldn't like share the same rooming. But man, I thought cruise ship. I don't know if you've been on a cruise or anything, but cruise ship rooms were cramped up. Man, these capsule places were cramped up. They had great amenities provided for you and everything. But man, so that was the first thing. Just catching up, getting jet lag, getting a little bit of a 4 hour now to get reset. They say Japan is the country, the sunshine country, or the sunrise country. So like of course we had to get reset, get everything going. But just the common knowledge when Americans, when we talk about Japan, the first thing we talk about usually is just Tokyo. So that was the first thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do hear Tokyo a lot, just like Seoul if it's like South Korea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
That's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're guess. You're the guest, man. Speak away, man.
All right. Oh, what I was gonna say is there's this district. I'm gonna try not to butcher the name of this district in Tokyo. It is was it Akibara? I think it was
Akihabara, I think.
Yeah, Akihabara. Thank you. It's all I can say is Akihabara was the coolest place in Tokyo for me to visit, because like, one, the arcade, to me it was the attraction was the arcades. The arcades were the biggest I've ever seen. They had like a lot of we got Dance Revolution here, bro. They got some other type of Dance Revolution over there where it's like it's not even arrows. It's like literally like a touchscreen thing. Wherever you step, it's like a flash, like a luminous. The type of technology that they have in Akihabara was in these Akihabara arcades. I'm sorry. It was more so. It was just fun. We just had the time of our lives, man. Like honestly, I wish I was out there for more than a week. I wish I was out there for at least 2 or 3 weeks. But Akihabara is definitely the known place for arcades and shopping. The only thing was I couldn't find anything my size. Like their large or their extra large is my medium.
Oh wow!
Like this shirt right here fits me pretty snugly, and this not even like, this is probably triple XL for them.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah.
I am 6 foot, like 200.
Yeah, you will not find anything over there. It was, and if you did, it had to be custom made, and you're just coming out of the pocket. Like, nah, we good.
Man, yeah. What do you think about like the Amazon, like ordering?
Oh, Amazon.
Yeah.
I the charts that Amazon, and I'm glad they started doing this, because before, I would say like 4 years ago, when you were ordering things, like they didn't have like dress charts, like size charts at all when it came to their, because in America we base our stuff off of American size, Euro size, but Japanese size completely different. Again, understandable. Their average man, the height, the weight, and just the diametrics of them and the women are drastically different from ours. So with Amazon, I would say it's definitely, I would personally, how do I put this delicately without offending Amazon? I would personally research actual Japanese shops that ship over to the US and buy from them. That's just how it is. Like Amazon, of course, is more bright, is more broad, more easier to go, and even so, even with Amazon, if you're gonna shop from Amazon, Amazon still supports these small businesses out there. So like, if just see what they're linked to, see who they're shipped through, who they're who you can buy them through, and just come up through that way. But I personally would pick a Japanese shop over ordering through Amazon, because you're gonna get it the same amount of time. Amazon will over promise you, say, oh yeah, like what, today's the February 5th. Yeah, they'll say, oh, it's gonna come on February 14th, and they'll just keep delaying it. Versus if you actually go to a Japanese based website to order from them, they'll give you the real, like, hey, it's gonna take about like 3-4 weeks.
That's really interesting, man. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, it's
because I did see. I know some guys who actually order from Amazon, and they get the packages from Amazon. So they actually order, like, if they like trying to like find peanut butter or something like that, which they couldn't find. I think that may be one of the items they could not find in Japan, peanut butter. But it's more of a rarity to find.
It is, because the Japanese diet is vastly different than America's diet. So it was, I mean, like I said, with me, there was a lot of stuff I missed. I missed actual Coke based products, even though they did sell Sprite, Coca-Cola, of course, and no, not Pepsi. I think I only saw Sprite and Coca-Cola, and just like other other off-brand Coke-based products. They were overpriced compared to the other drinks. So I was just kind of like, hey, I have this in America. Like, I'm, while in Rome.
Speaking of drinks, man, guys, I actually will be launching a new energy drink company later this year. So stay in tune for that, man. It's gonna be lit, man.
Yo, send me the link. Like, let me know.
For sure, man. So what time do you think is the best year to travel to Japan?
November, like, easily. It's the November. For us, it's winter. For them, it's autumn. So if you want to see like the cherry blossoms, you want to see like the actual, like, the beauties of Japanese nature, go in November.
Interesting, man. I've always been told like it was like spring because they got like the cherry blossoms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a different feel. Like the cherry blossoms, the thing is, though, there are cherry blossom trees that will still be a bloom during that time. Of course, leaves will be falling and everything. It's just a different feel. But what the reason why I say November, because the one, for the weather. Tokyo in the summer can get pretty humid. People don't realize that. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, Japan altogether in the summer can get pretty humid. Aside from the fact that you're surrounded by water, there's a lot of waterfronts, a lot of rivers that run through these cities. So it's definitely, that's what led to our decision to go on in November. Plus, when I was working for during that time when I started my job in banking in a new institution, that during the fourth quarter, I pretty much, I'm still in sales, but in sales, traditionally first, second, and third, you want to build that up. And then you want to take your vacation, your big time vacation, mostly like in the fourth quarter, because that's when stuff kind of like dies down a little bit. And it just kind of like it just worked. So we still saw cherry blossom trees, not like the abundance of if it was in the spring or the summer, but it was enough to where you kind of saw the balance of how do they put it? The balance of nature in autumn is how they put it. So that's why, for me, I truly believe, like, if you go out there in the spring, of course, beautiful countryside, Japan, abundant with beautiful cherry blossoms hanging over rivers and lakes. But when you go there in the autumn time, like in the fresh autumn, before right before fall, winter, then you will pretty much see you'll pretty much see everything and have the benefit of good weather. So that's why I always say November.
Mm. So what visa do you recommend? I mean, this is just a regular standard tourist visa.
Yeah, they're not too strict when it comes to American tourists. So yeah, just I personally went out there with a regular visa. I didn't have any problems. It was actually the main reason why I also got my first passport. So definitely, they're not too strict when it comes to traveling. Just don't. Of course, when you travel internationally, same rules apply, same etiquette. Don't pack certain things. But when it comes to ID verification, all that stuff, and the whole pre-check-in, it wasn't as strenuous. So you can literally get ahead with just going with the regular visa.
Man, I remember when I was traveling, I had packed a big protein, like a fat 10-pound protein powder. I was like, no, not my protein, man.
Yeah, no, they
The
say
bag's loud.
any closed capsules that they can't see that deem, because like I actually had a question about, like, I was on a certain diet at that time, and they said, and part of my workout was taking taking powder supplements, like protein, pre-workout, all that stuff. You couldn't bring any of it. And it was they explained, it's like, it's simply, I mean, the simple fact, you can hide weapons in that, in those big jars, those containers of powder. So I understood. It's just it just is what it is. Flying etiquette is, it hasn't changed since, of course, 9/11. So people just, I would say, just just when it comes to um oh, and something I do recommend for people to go into is, get a travel credit card. One that particularly, for two reasons. One that particularly partners with TSA, and then because that made the whole experience way better. I had this Bank of America credit card. It's called the premium. I'm not trying to sell for Bank of America. They're not sending me a check for this, but it partners with TSA. And if I use it overseas, I don't get any that 3% purchase fee. So foreign purchase fee. So it just, the assets that you have, just use a travel credit card at your disposal. Make sure that, I mean, if you can avoid paying an annual fee on it, cool, you know. But one that typically, partners with the TSA, has the amenities of, hotel stays, tracking where you're at, and then also, um, if you ran out of cash or out there Japanese yen, they took my card. So, and it was no problem at all.
Mm. Yeah, 'cause I know Bank of America credit card. I think if I can remember correctly, there was like one really good one, which was just a red one. I think I had like three cash back, 3%.
Yeah, the 3%, 2%, 1%.
Yeah,
I got
yeah, I
that one
remember
too.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the one's
Yeah,
definitely evolving. Now they got another one called the unlimited, where it's like 2%, like 1.5% on everything. But I'm like,
yeah,
mm,
that's like if you win, like, eh.
yeah. If you don't
Um,
get approved for the cash rewards, 1 to 3% back, no, just go for the unlimited. Try.
yeah. 'Cause I know that the American banks, like the best traditional bank, in my opinion, is probably just Chase.
Hmm.
Um, well, personally, for me, I use Discover.
Okay.
Um, and then for like credit cards, I use Amex, so American Express.
Right.
And then for
If
like
the person takes it,
yeah,
you know, gotta
yeah,
ask, like, yo, y'all take Amex? Yes. Cool. So wipe that sweat off your forehead before,
yeah.
you know.
Because like for like the regular like business banking, I use Novo Bank, which is a really great bank.
Mhm.
So you don't get charged any ATM fees at all
Yeah.
or foreign
Yeah.
transactions. Like all the fintech banks are really good right now.
No, for sure.
But yeah, so how much money would you say to live comfortably in Tokyo, like
How
on
much money?
average?
That's a good question. Like translated in US dollars,
Yeah,
like from here over there. To live comfortably, so we can take it in three tiers. We can say, getting by,
yeah,
simple, lavish. Getting by, if you're making at least, I would say 30K out here, um, you can easily get by in Japan. No doubt about it. The way, because it's just the way the Japanese yen translates over. Like, of course, the American dollar is worth more than Japanese yen. So it definitely translates to more. So 30,000 to us isn't a lot. Over there, Japanese with 30,000 to Japanese yen, yeah, it can get you a nice little apartment, a nice little place. Well, I won't say like nice, like my level nice to somebody else's level nice is different. I would, like I said, just getting by, doing what you got to do. Hey, I'm staying here and for the simple fact of work stuff, blah blah blah. You know, I would definitely say for lavish, definitely because there's certain districts that are. I would say for me, if I want to live lavish out there, the amount of money that you would look to make is probably 75 to 90 k to live lavishly out there. And of course, living like a king, that stuff is universal. Make at least six figures anywhere you go, you live like a king. But that's really just the tiers. And the thing I noticed about Japanese civilians, especially, they don't look at um, the material thing as much as we do. Their days are more based on, they're more objective. They have their routines. They, of course, you know, you have where they stay. You know, some people look, it's like, I don't know how anybody can live here. It's like, well, that person may see that as a place where it's like, look, this is where I eat, this is where I sleep, this is where I, you know, take a piss, this is where I crap, you know, all that stuff. And then everywhere else, it's like I go to work. You know, most people take bikes. You know, it's convenient for them. You know, afterwards they go somewhere, they go to their favorite food spot, get something to eat, and then and they just live objectively pretty much until they understand that process to where they grind to the point where they get to the point where they're living lavishly. Then it requires more so of the viewpoint of where we are at. They out there understand the process. We, in my belief, in my heart of hearts, I don't think that our youth right now coming out of high school understands the process um of really putting in work just yet. But out there in Japan, they groom that right there. It's like, hey, as soon as you get out of school, you got to get a job, you got to do this, got to do that. And they're really hard on especially men that aren't doing anything. Like if you're 19 and you don't have a job, they're like, what are you doing? Are you going to school? Are you doing this? Blah blah blah. Like like you have to be doing something, you know. So it's just like you know, like it's different. It's a different view. But to live lavishly, I would say about 75 to 90k. And then if you want to live like a king, 90k and up, you know.
Mm. And how much you said it was just to get by?
Just to get by, about 30.
Oh, okay. And how much is that a month? Like,
It depends because I know right now Japan went through a recent inflation with their, you know, with the economy and everything with COVID going on. So things do cost a little bit more. Because with, unlike us, Japan actually had a hard lockdown. Like things were being delivered to them, all that stuff. So I would say it just depends on rent was basically determined by landlord. You know, a big thing that a lot of people really base themselves on as far as like rent was, you know, like what I mean, a lot of people base themselves on was like, hey, buy property. Just like how it is out here. We look to buy property. What we're just understanding recently, and when I mean recently, I mean within the last like 15 years, buy property. They've known that over there. So rent is more affordable because the people that own these places, that own these properties, have an abundance usually. So they don't need to charge the nose. But 30k a year, a
yeah, that's
month,
about like 2,400, 2,000,
about 25, about 25.
2,500. Yeah.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
2,500. So not too bad. It's like, to us out here, that's like a start. Like that's the entry level amount that you'll make going into your career. Like for us in America, 30,000 is like you still living at home or you with a roommate. Out there, it's like you're living on your own, but it may not be the best place or your number one choice. But hey, you're on your own. You're getting by. You're doing this for the convenience of getting work, whatever, you know.
Mm. So what would you say is the average food cost over there in Tokyo? Like on the low end,
Translate.
the high end?
Um, it depends how much you're how much you're shipping for. As far as like, say for me, for a family of three, you know, me and my wife, my son, um, I would say on a monthly average for how much we pay for food for groceries, um, I'm spending about maybe $450 a month. And that's like every 2 weeks. Like again, like every 2 weeks, that we go grocery shopping. If we were to translate that out to when we're going to Japan's cost, I'd probably be paying about like 200 a month. Like most of the stuff that they have out there is grown locally, so that's why the costs really drastically change. Like, out here, of course, we have logistics, we got farmers all over the place, we import the way they, produce and everything. Even like go over to Hawaii, like grocery shopping is like everything is expensive over there because everything's imported overseas, because Hawaii, that's just their setup. But with Japan, they homegrown a lot of their stuff, so which results in them being a lot more healthier, which also results in food being a lot more affordable.
Mm. Is it the same thing, would you say, for like the meat over there in Hawaii and
With
Japan?
meat, um, I would say there's a similarity, because I think Japan just has a little bit more of a better situation um, than Hawaii, because with Hawaii, um, Hawaii is viciously smaller than Japan, of course. So it's like more so. It just depends on like, I would say, like, okay, so let's take a certain meat, like what's it called, wagyu, like
Uh,
wagyu beef.
I've never been to Hawaii. So
Okay, so let's take a beef. So this is beef called wagyu beef, I think. Let me actually. I think it's
sounds
called.
familiar.
I think it's wagyu. Hold on, let me. Wagyu beef. Yes. So wagyu beef, wagyu steaks, right? They're probably the most expensive meat um and on the market. Like you put wagyu meat, wagyu beef, wagyu steak next to anything, it beats it out. Like the inflation of that meat itself goes up about 20% more than what other meat costs. Like if you get a wagyu beef taco, like it's probably gonna be like a $15 taco. But um and because most of the wagyu beef is imported, and in Japan, I don't think wagyu beef is imported. I think they produce it there. It's like, I would say 3 pounds of wagyu beef in Hawaii would probably be a good 30, like maybe $40. In Japan, it'll probably be, I would say, $18 to $25.
Mm.
So it's all about importing access to, just basic economics, pretty much just access to a resource, and um and scarcity, and like supply and demand, pretty much.
So how's like the 7-Elevens and stuff over there in Tokyo? Is it about like I
Same as
know they
ours.
got
Same as ours. It's it's eerily the same. Just their food is just better. Like, there's more quantity, more like there's literally no change out there.
man,
They have
'cause,
this. They have this ramen. This bowl of noodles that, of course, it's like, it's like our version of oodles and noodles, but they have like extra spices, and like their noodles are like thicker, and it tastes so much better. So I'm like, it's, of course, it's the poor man's meal, and you don't want to eat like those noodles all the time because the sodium intake is just ridiculously high. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
even with the sodium, you can just flush it out with water.
yeah, exactly. And there's like, I would say, the only the a big difference that I would say in the 7-Elevens out there versus here, um was there was more of a variety of like healthy drinks. Like, of course, you got the water, then you got tea, got all that stuff, and then you had the pop, or as people say on the West Coast, soda, um and other drinks, sake, whatever, wine, and all that stuff, other beers. And here, if you look, next time you go to a 7-Eleven, see how much access you have to water and other fruitful, healthy drinks versus pop/soda and alcohol. And they have a more abundance of healthy choices than unhealthy choices.
Mm. So would you say like what's their cheapest meat over there? Would you say is like a pork, chicken, if you're like going to
Um,
a grocery store or something like that?
I would definitely say cheapest meal. Dang, well, that's actually a good question. Depends on what you're looking for. If you're a vegetarian, um, I would just say like really, really. There was, there's this assorted bento box that they had in this store. Oh my gosh, how much was it? It was, I would say in American dollars, it was probably like $3. For it was a beautiful assortion. And the box was pretty cheap. Just one time use only. But it was, it to get your filling. I would say, one of the pre-assorted bento boxes. Was pretty easy. But if you're looking for like a quick fix, again, that the bowl, the cup of, I would say it's a bowl. Like for in America, it's like it's shaped in a cup. But in Japan, there's this bowl that, like, again, like that 7-Eleven thing I was talking about. That's probably like the cheapest, easy access meal that you'll actually like feel something. Out here, you get some oodles and noodles and you're still hungry after that. Yeah. That's just honest to God.
Man, I know if I'm ever like trying to like maintain my body weight or just try to build muscle in general, I'm probably gonna go for those bento boxes, man. I'm gonna get a lot of
I'm
them.
telling you, bento boxes is where it's at, man. And when you, and out there too, when like you would see, there's this district, there's the business district. Oh, I can't remember what it is. I remember seeing this lovely couple having this picnic, and just this big ass picnic box, or what I would call a picnic box. It probably for them is something different. But we're gonna call it a picnic box right now. Like the amount of food that they can fit in at such a reasonable thing, and they pair everything with rice. So of course everything is filling, everything is satisfying. You find something that can cook, or if you find out that you can cook out there, you want to, like, again, if you're by yourself, like I already told you, family of 3, I'm only probably spend like 200 every month out there, which is amazing. On groceries itself, that's literally it will stop you from ever having like to go out and eat something, like stopping by. Of course, I do recommend, if you go out to Japan, get some ramen. Get like there was this place in Tokyo. I cannot remember the name of it, but the ramen that they had, it was the first time having ramen outside of Top Ramen. And I say that, I try not to laugh saying it, but the first time of having actual ramen, it made me so mad at the, what's it, the Maruchan brand, or
Oh
the
yeah,
Top Ramen
Maruchan,
brand?
yeah.
Yeah, Maruchan. It made me so mad at that, because I'm like, y'all could do so much more than just giving us some damn dry noodles and seasoning. So
Dang,
the
man.
new I ordered, like I said, I'm a big guy, so I ordered extra noodles, extra katsu on the side, some extra pork. It was like a spicy miso ramen. And man, did they fill that bowl. I did not finish it. I finished food and I could not finish it. I think it was because all the carb, like the amount, the thickness of the noodles is what took me by surprise. It was some pretty thick ass noodles. So,
Dang.
but yeah, that was my ramen experience out there. But food in general, man, it's we take for granted what we got out here. But you go to Japan, you just see just the access, and just how the city runs, how the citizens there, in very polite, low crime rate. They know, they understand like how their life works and how to just get by.
Mm. What do they usually call those thick noodles? They call it udon, right? If
Udon,
I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I actually had that. That was really good and thick, man. I was
You
like, wow, I
slurp,
didn't.
it. That must hit you in the face at the
Yeah,
end, at the tail end. You feel it. You're like,
it
shit.
did, man. Oh yeah, and also about that, man, they actually they talk about like the slurping. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
appropriate.
actually it's a gesture of it's actually polite to slurp. They actually encourage you, because if you're not, that means you're just not enjoying it. You want to slurp your food, and to us, I don't know why we see it as taboo. It's like, oh, that's disgusting, blah blah blah. No, you slurp your food. You letting the chef know this is some good stuff. It's polite. It's a gesture of politeness out there.
Oh man, that's funny.
So I was trying not to. I was trying to be polite. I was trying to like use the chopsticks, try to get like feed the noodles into my mouth, and everybody else around me just like you're just like, geez, like I'm like, y'all loud as hell, and they were just like, and like me and my brother were just like, like that's the like to us, that's the equivalent of like I don't know, like for most households if they understand this, but putting your elbows on the table while you're eating, like you just don't
Oh
do
yeah.
that, you know. But I digress. We were just dumbfounded, and everybody just kind of like had to put us on game. And like, oh, they really don't know what it's like out here, how we are. So you know, it was a learning lesson. Like we were kind of scared to do everything. Like yo, we didn't want to like yo, is it messed up if I like like the thing that my brother was like our brother was a little bit skinnier. Like he lost a little bit of weight, so some of his clothes didn't fit him. So he was like wearing some sweats that were kind of hanging off him just a little bit. And he's like, "Yo, is it like if slurping and all this etiquette stuff is like, am I offending people by simply like sagging just a little bit? Like is that taboo out here?" Like we were just questioning all of our moves.
Mm.
I'm telling you, it was a culture shock, but hey, like there was it is what it is. That's what I mean. When you travel, you gotta go there with an open mind and also do your research. You know. I wish I did more of that when I was out before I traveled. I just want to go to Japan. Like I just want to go out there. Like let's do it.
Man, what was that food called? I think it was called like tempura. Is that like the
Tempura.
fried shrimp? Is that what it is?
Yes. So it's like fried shrimp on a stick,
Oh,
or it
okay.
doesn't have to be on a stick. You just just take that. And they had this I call it tempura sauce because they always serve this little I think it was base eel sauce or something that you just stick the fried shrimp in and just eat it. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Like Japan literally takes the simplest foods and they turn it into like a delectable gourmet
I
style
believe it,
food
bro.
out there.
I
Out there, we'd be
believe
like, "Yo, this." I said, "This is poor man's meal," but they be on fuego out here.
Oh yeah, guys, man. If you haven't if you haven't done so already, man, do like and subscribe, man.
Like the damn video, okay? Like this is some we trying to spread awareness about cultural advances, and the best thing you can do, like again, get out of get out of your box. You really want to learn more and absorb more, travel. Just travel. And damn it,
Travel.
subscribe. Devin over here, he know what asking. He did his research. He probably did more research on Tokyo than I did before I traveled. So, you know, like the video.
Oh, oh man. Also, what about the other food? It looked like a pancake and cook it over like this
Oh, it's okay.
what do you
That
call
I
omiyage,
don't
omiyage
remember.
or something like that?
It sounds right. It's like this weird. So it's like a pan. They put lettuce and they put this egg based paste in it. Oh, dude, it was so good. It looked like
Egg
you
foo
know what
young Chinese restaurant.
it it, it reminded me of a kimchi pancake. But it just had more stuff to it. It was, and the way they made it, it just made my mouth water. They just stacked them on like on this flat cooker. You put this lettuce. You're like where are they going with this? They take this like this batter egg mix and they are frying it. They just put in a whole bunch. Oh, dude, it is. Yeah, nah. I forgot about that dish. It was. I still can't pronounce it to the life of me. I just know it was good.
Mm. Yeah, I forgot the name of it too.
Yeah,
I may be right. I don't know, man. Omiyage, something like that, man.
yeah.
I may
I
be
couldn't
wrong.
even tell you if that sounded right. It was just. I could tell you how it tasted. That's like I. It was good. Like it was light, but you wanted more. So
Mm. Man, 'cause it did remind me of like the egg foo young that you get at like a Chinese restaurant here in
yes,
America,
yeah.
but it looked even more like
But we're not going to disrespect that.
yeah,
That little pancake it is. But compared to egg foo young, man, I'm
yeah.
telling you, they take egg foo young and make it gourmet type. Like they stuff it. It's nice and thick, and each bite is like more flavor than like. Again, simple stuff that we're like, yo, I can make this at home, but I'm not going to because if I look at it, I'm gonna mess it up, and I'm just not gonna look at the food the same. I'm gonna be so mad at myself, like yo, like literally, it looks so simple to prepare, but man, that was definitely the spot.
Mm. Man, so how's the gym culture over there?
They're big on cardio, very big. There's barely any lifters out there. So when we were, I was only when I was going to the gym, so I was seen as like uh, what do you call abominable snowman? Um, a yeti. Like it's like like I was seen as that because like dude, like again, 6'2", 200 plus pounds, and can and can bench a pretty substantial amount. It was the gym scene is very, I would say, favors cardio more than lifting. Although they still lift, they don't like lift like heavy stuff. Like they maintain muscle, like maintain for toneness and aesthetics for their build. Because I think the way we view muscular big men, they don't view the same. Like to them, that's like, okay, that's too much. Like somebody built like me is to them is too much. Or if you guys know Bradley Martin, notorious strongman, the guy that would be curling whole women or bench pressing them or squatting them. To them, that'd be too much for them. They don't attain for that. They just fear obesity. That's it. They eat right, run it off, burn calories, and that's all they care about. Maintain toneness, don't be fat.
Yeah, that's what I love about them as well, man. And then the food is really, I'm sure you actually track the actual like macros and calories from the food as well.
Bro,
I think they got
I'm
that.
not gonna lie. I didn't at the time. Like it there was a point in time where I did track macros and it made eating a job. And I'm just like, look, I just stayed to a specific diet. But there I wasn't, I will be honest, I probably came back and I probably lost 6 pounds coming back because I wasn't maintaining my calorie intake out there than I normally do. I normally ingest about like 3,500 to 3,800 calories a day. Out there I probably took in about like maybe 2,200 a day.
Yeah,
That's
because
because
I
we're eating
know.
healthy.
Yeah, because I do know that most people they make they make the tracking harder than it needs to be. All you usually have to do is have like constant protein and then just fill in the rest of it as energy, like carbohydrates or just fats.
Yeah. I tell
Make
people
sure
all
you're
the
hitting the
time.
macros
Like,
and calories.
yeah. I tell people all the time because especially like because that's when you know you're serious about it, is when you actually know how to calculate it. I tell people, so like the key really to start off dieting and exercise, because exercise, the gym is literally like 30% of it. Like nutrition, 70% of your workout.
Yeah.
Like or I'm say your fitness journey. The biggest thing too would be uh just making sure that your output, which is your workout, and your input, which is, or your intake. I'll say, let's say input. Your input is pretty much the data or food that you put into your body. Your output is what you put out. So as long as your output equals or is greater than your input, you're always going to make progress each day. And like I said, just depends what you're looking to do. But yeah, as long as your output either is greater than or equal to your input, then you'll be good. Just don't
That's
dirty bulk.
yeah.
Because
That's the biggest mistake.
you will not have like dirty bulking. Like bodybuilders do it all the time. I mean, no, I'm sorry, not bodybuilders. What are they called? They're
Strong
strong.
men.
Yeah, we'll call them strong men. They know who they are. The ones that be benching like 400 pounds and taking like 10-minute breaks between each set. Like that's just how
Yeah.
it is for them. but when you're actually trying to like get into sculpting, aesthetics, and everything like that, man, yeah, you really gotta be careful about dirty bulking, because you eat some McDonald's or some bullshit before you hit that gym, you gonna feel all that bullshit coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Also, man, I will be becoming a online fitness trainer as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll have my own app and everything like that. So
Definitely. See,
that's
look,
coming soon as well.
follow, subscribe this man, guys. He's his business ventures. Like I said, he already has a clothing line for people that are built like me. And as funny as that sounds, it's really rare to find athletic fit shirts. Dehvin sells them, so definitely look it up. I'm pretty sure he'll put it in the description. He'll link to it. And like I said, he has many ideas when it comes down to entrepreneurship. So please follow, and subscribe to this man to follow his entrepreneurial, or I'll even say business mogul venture, because this dude's gonna own multiple businesses. He's not gonna just be a slave to one. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Yeah, man. I was also thinking of doing like a meal business, like frozen meals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, have like keto meals and stuff like that.
That's
But I
gonna be
want to, yeah,
that's gonna be tough, because I'm gonna be real with you. Keto's becoming popular.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it now but before it's too oversaturated. Not saying you can't,
Yeah.
but do it. Get started on that as soon as possible. Don't even. That's not even a 2-year plan. That's like a 8-month plan.
Yeah. It's a big journey, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, man. So how's the fashion sense over there?
Oh, dude, it's man. People know how to dress over there. One thing I noticed is baggy clothes, like how not how we dressed in 2002, but like stuff that was like not too fitted was kind of it. Like there was this this jacket that this one dude was walking by. It was this high collar jacket up to here, button down, had all the anime patches on it, and the sleeves held down to where like the middle of the hand was, like as he puts his hand down. So it looked like it. They know how to dress in Japan. I can't explain it. It's just when you go down there, there was this American. What was this district? Damn it, I can't remember it. It's Americanawa.
Okinawa?
American. No. It literally starts with America. It's like America, and it's like Nawa after that or something. But it's the capital of youth culture in Japan. And like if you talking about like a slew of shopping districts, literally for people between the ages of 18 to 30, that is it. Like you've never seen a mall until you went to a mall in Japan, and like I said, I might have pronounced it incorrectly, but I'm gonna say it again with my chest. Americanawa. Okay, I could be dead ass wrong. You can fact check me on it, but like their fashion sense out there is pretty dope. And I had a conversation with a gentleman about the trend, how it works, especially with fashion. What I've noticed, in America, we pride ourselves, especially on European culture. Fitted suits, fitted everything pretty much. Wearing loafers with no socks. That started in I believe that's actually started in Ireland. We wear double-breasted suit jackets. That started in the UK. But I believe that Tokyo or Japan, I'm sorry, Japan has taken elements of what they see us wearing in America, and they fuse it with elements of ancient Japanese culture, and they come up with this dope compilation or collaboration of a style that's just you just got to see, man. Like some of these people out here just they just know how to dress. It's different, but when you bring that out here, and somebody gonna look at you like, yo, that's some cool stuff. Their shoes are actually pretty dope too. I don't know if you've seen if you're familiar with the streamer Ninja. I'm pretty sure you.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Ninja's pretty big, pretty popular in the video game industry, especially and in esports. His shoes that he had launched are actually Japanese style based shoes. A lot of shoes that we're having with like Nike, Adidas, all the stuff like fashion. Some of them actually take from styles in Japan. So I really see Japanese culture and style of or I would say Japanese culture has definitely made its way in America. Just anime itself, like it's already here. We're aware of it. And then it's starting to go slowly shoes, and then maybe style shirts. But I know definitely we're collabing with Japanese influencers with our shoes. So definitely, their fashion sense out there is very top bar.
Mm. Yeah, 'cause I did hear about Harajuku. Is that the name? Harajuku?
Harajuku, yeah.
And I do remember they had like a unique style. They had like these high boots.
They have they specialize in boots for women because they're women because they're the boots have like the little heel to it.
Yeah,
It's a very popular style for them, especially with the ones that are like that have the 6-inch heels or the 4-inch heels. But they also have a variation of there's a shoe they really popularize the Chuck style shoe out there. Vans, all that stuff. Toms. I'm sorry. style shoes. But yeah, no, they yeah, no, leather boots. Just it's the most common shoe. It's like seeing one of their shoes out there is like seeing a Jordan out here. It's like, almost everybody has a pair. It's just that's just what I noticed in my day. Like all these,
Everybody love the Jordans, man.
always, everybody knows their first pair of Jordans they ever bought.
Mm. So how would you explain the day life over there in Japan, Tokyo?
Day life is busy, very busy. If you don't know how to navigate Tokyo in the daytime or any time, but especially the daytime, you're gonna get lost. So I would say the best way to navigate is just public transportation, understanding where to go, what connections you have, and Google Maps really helped out because it actually mapped out connections that you make when traveling. And they have this thing called IC cards out there they're like prepaid cards, but you load them up with money and you use it on the buses, trains, and all that stuff. So it's just everything's just busy, but everything's busy in motion. Like you see places with traffic that, like newer cities like Vegas. Vegas is barely like over just a few years over 100 years old. And we still don't have driver's etiquette out here where there's there's no specific lane for construction trucks or 16 wheelers or anything like that, or the commercial transportation trucks. They drive on any lane. Of course, you want to, and out here they're even in the passing lane. Out there, everybody knows where they're going. It's very orchestrated, very very organized. Have you ever seen the movie? It's called the Bee Movie.
I don't think so.
Okay. There was a scene. The reason why I bring it up is because there's a scene where, because bees are so organized, they made fun of like traffic was like literally going like chaotic, like crossways, diagonal, up, down, and everything, and nobody had accents with anybody. And the streets are a little different, like how our streets out here are, our intersections are like this. Theirs is kind of like this, and sometimes they'll have like an extra street like going up in the middle of all that. So it's just
Oh wait, you said the Bee movie,
B
like with the
movie.
actual bees?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
remember that, bro.
yeah. So that scene where they're like walking through traffic and like everything's passing, nobody's hitting anybody. That's the best way I can explain traffic out there in Japan. But they have an order to their stuff. Like they've been established long enough to where, they just know how things operate, and
Man, that brings me back, man. Now that I think about it.
it
Man,
was
that was a long time ago. Like
it
2006, 2007.
Yeah, it was.
Somewhere around there.
I liked it. It was funny to me because, and then I also noticed now looking back at it, I'm like, this is the most heavily Jewish influenced animated movie that I've ever watched in my life. And that's not a bad thing. It was just, when you look at the actors, when you look at the credits, you're like, wow, like they, the Jewish Hollywood, man, they keep it. They make sure their boys get paid. They say, hey, I got this project with, like, let's get these people in and blah blah blah. So it was definitely, I remember it just be, like I said, a heavily Jewish influenced movie as far as just actors. Not really. I mean, they even had what's his name, Larry King in there. So that just says it for itself. But yeah. Anyways, I digress. But that's the traffic, that the organization of traffic that they have it out there. Navigating out there is intimidating if you're not from Tokyo. And I say that from personal experience. Being from Chicago, downtown Tokyo was intimidating to me.
Mm. So I'm guessing you had that like culture shock a little bit.
Oh yeah. First 2 days, I was still like it was like a dream. Like I'm like it was the first time where I was in a space where I didn't know shit. Pardon my language, but that's really how, that's genuinely like transparency. Like that's how I felt. I felt like I was the dumbest person walking in the sidewalks because I was just ignorant. I didn't know anything, and it's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's actually to be expected as well if someone's traveling to a new country.
Yeah.
So what about the nightlife?
Oh man. I would say the best place to visit for nightlife would be, let me think. What is it called? It was this district that what was there's this place in, I think, Osaka, that, oh man, it's actually known. Osaka is actually a district that's actually known as a country that we traveled to in Japan. That's actually known for its nightlife. Definitely, it was definitely lit. Like the clubs out there. Again, I'm in Vegas, and when I say the clubs and music out there, man, they know how to party. Definitely recommended. Definitely gave it a 10 out of 10. You know, highly recommended nightlife when you go to Japan. Especially specifically in Osaka. But I would definitely say that nightlife out there, compared to places like Miami, Vegas, LA, it's on par. It's definitely on par. Very similar to a lot of drinking, and let's not even get into the red light district areas in Japan. You know, they like to be quiet about it, even though it's very prominent in their animes. It's very known. It's really important to know where to be at, where to go during the nightlife, and there, during just the experience. So that, but it was fun. I think I didn't get stupid drunk, but I got drunk enough to cause us to leave early or to get escorted out. So yeah, wasn't one of my proud moments.
So how would you say the safety is there in Japan compared to the West?
Are we talking about statistically or personally?
Just personally. You can just, yeah.
Again, you got to take a fact where I'm from. I'm from the south side of Chicago, man. Any other place feels more safer than there, and even Chicago doesn't even feel that bad to me. But I felt like I truly felt like everything was under control, no matter where it was. There was always there was always some type of law enforcement representative, just in the area, just in case whether they're walking, on bikes, in cars, they are present. And they do not play with when it comes to crime. I believe the crime rate is as low as like 3%. I could be wrong about that, but it's
that's really good.
I mean, I feel like that's something that we gotta fact check actually. But so I'm gonna regurgitate that or
Wait,
stick
you
it back
talking
in my
about
mouth.
Japan or Chicago?
No, Japan. No, Chicago's crime rate is absolute ass. Yeah, no, like Japan. I would say Japan compared to Chicago, LA, New York, Philly. As far as like safety, you would say it's a utopia of like security. I don't know how it is now with their government. I think they're having like a little issue with their authority out there. I don't know if that's Japan or China, but I don't know. You don't really hear anything about police brutality in Japan.
Yeah,
And it really wasn't present. Like you just, it was just like kind of like, I guess the feeling of, I don't know if you've ever had a sleepover with your at your friend's house and their mom is kind of strict, but
that happened. Yeah.
You just kind of had the feeling like, just act right and everything be fine. Just follow these rules, you'll be good. And everybody's on the same page.
All right, man. We're getting to the important question here.
Okay.
How are the women in Tokyo, man?
Obedient. Personally, the women out there really aren't my type, but man, are they cute. There's something about them almond eyes, the slanted almond eyes, man. They it can really get you. Like there's a standard out there for ladylike. And they value they I would say they date to marry. They don't just casually date they date to marry. And most of their marriage partners are really I guess picked out by the father. Like it's not arranged, but it's like they see a candidate that they like, and they do that whole psychology thing where they make sure they have that man around their daughter at all, like as often as possible. So when they think of like a possible suitor, they like typically you're gonna think about like the man that's been most influential in your life, but they are cute. They're very they and for people like this, they love black people. They love us. Like
You
we're
love the
just like,
brothers.
dude, they love the bro. They we're like unicorns when we go out there. Like I remember stepping on the when we got on the train actually to go to our hotel the first night, and people had cameras out just filming, just like I'm like, this is they people asking to take selfies and all this stuff. It's just I don't know, like if that it was pretty cool, just being a tourist, you just get that, you get that nice little hospitality. People just adore your presence, especially the women. Like, I would say my height is what definitely caught their attention. Just my brother and I, like I'm 6'2", he's six, he's about 6'3". Would automatically just again, like, yes, we're light skinned black, but damn it, we're black. And just walking on a train and automatically just commanding somebody's attention. That's how it was. Like people like it was just what it was. Like women, but yeah, no, the women out there are definitely I would like for them to have a little bit more assets on their body, but I think that would kind of make them a little bit too good to be real. I guess because they already have that understanding of what it means to be a woman, to be a wife, and they all take care of themselves. I don't think when I was out there, I don't think I saw a single fat woman or a single fat person. I saw some chubby people, but none of them were women. They're very conscious of that. Images was definitely a big thing.
Mm. So I'm guessing you would say these women over there in Tokyo or just Japan in general are more so feminine.
Yeah, the traditionally feminine, yes.
Man, compared to the West, man, those.
Oh,
Oh man.
I would say, like I said, there is a big there is an issue with, I guess, some schoolgirls where some there are some young women that take advantage of older men to make money on the side and kind of prostitute themselves.
Mm.
And I even noticed like I was told that that's something that's really really overlooked from the from the authority standpoint of law, but it's definitely something that happens. You can't get you can't really like discredit that, but from the most part, I would say for the most part, women out in Japan understand the importance of traditional woman or feminine qualities, and they understand that their success as a woman is stemmed from marriage, not career.
Mm. Man, true values, man.
Mm-hmm. Definitely parallel to ours.
It's crazy, man. The thing that's going on right now in the West, man.
That's a whole nother
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic right there, man.
whole nother topic that we're gonna have to get into a different day, man. We can spit for hours on that shit.
For sure. So what would you say is the best places to actually meet these women in Tokyo?
Um, Definitely okay. Again, the obvious, definitely not the red light district anywhere away from any of these sex hotels that they have out there. But uh, I would say a good portion would be in the shopping districts. To find a good woman, like a traditional like religious woman, um, would definitely be in the areas of like that are more shrine and temple oriented. Um, I believe they're in Kyoto. They're really known for their history, their religion, their temples, and just the nature. Um, Out there, there's just like a historic capital for them of ancient Japan. So I would say if you want like a traditional woman that holds basic, feminine standards, religious values, and all that stuff, I would say any place close to Osaka or Kyoto, or mainly Kyoto because they're more, like I said, it's a more rural area. They're really heavy on religion out there and
Mm,
upholding tradition and standards.
oh, wow. So what about the cafes?
Um, I didn't really visit the cafes too much. I'm not really a cafe person. Like I've
Mm,
never been to. like I've never been to like a Leona's cafe out here. I've never been to like any type of like coffee pub or anything out here. That's just that's really not really my style. So I really can't
Yeah.
even answer on that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, 'cause actually, I never actually went to Starbucks like that at all, man. If I ever did, I'll probably get like a Danish.
Right.
That's
Like
it.
there's
It's,
like people going to know what they order and it's just like sounds like Greek to you. You're just like, damn, how often do you like drink that? But I yeah, no, I wouldn't even I probably because I wasn't looking, I just didn't notice any like cafes out there.
yeah, I've never been like the type person who actually like the coffee.
Hmm.
I did drink a little bit of tea. I know the tea is really big in Japan, actually, is
Oh
it?
yeah. Oh yeah. They serve tea with everything. With everything. Like, and I'm telling you, like people need to be careful of that ginseng tea, man. That stuff they didn't tell you that. They didn't tell me that stuff cleans you out. It could be a cleanse if you drink too much of it. I learned my lesson. I had to kind of dial back on it because it was tasting good. I was drinking it like water. And they were like, dude, they look at me like they don't know. He doesn't know he about to be in a bathroom if you keep drinking this ginseng tea like that.
Mm. So, what kind of jobs do you think people who's try and travel to Japan for work, what do you think they would usually have for
Definitely tech jobs. Um, because or even logistics. It's or I would say more importantly, managing logistics. But with tech jobs, because Japan is definitely the technological advanced city of the world. I mean, not city. I'm sorry. Tokyo is the technological advanced city of the world. Um, I would definitely say like anybody partnering or making partner with like either like a video game tech company or like just basic like car manufacturing, like on the more so on the electric car manufacturing, anything like that. I've noticed is a big reason why people will come travel and stay abroad to work. Other than that, I haven't really heard too much of any other like business venture that really takes people out there.
Mm. So, so how's the online dating over there?
Never tried it. You know, they have this thing like it's like Tinder out here, but for like it's more so of a I would argue to say it's more successful. Online dating is more successful out there than it is here, just because out here we have that fear of um I'm not gonna use the R word. Um, I guess you know we just have that basic fear for women's safeties out here. Um, but out there because you know again the crime rate is so low. There's really more reward than risk when dating in Japan or meeting up with somebody. And like I
Mm.
said, they really value connection and purpose when it comes to where things are going. So if it's like they go on their first date and things don't hit off or something, what you know, whatever have you, it's you know, it just is what it is. Things in there, you know, because if they feel like they don't see themselves being married to this person, there's no point of continuing it on. So it lessens the chance of promiscuity and
Mm.
promiscuous behavior in the East or in Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. So would you say the is recommended to actually speak Japanese, or do they speak a little bit of English?
They definitely speak English. I would recommend speaking Japanese or having some knowledge of some Japanese. I bought this translation or this Japanese language book that I opened it. I was like, nah, this I'm gonna take an L on this one. I'm just gonna have somebody translate because there was just so much. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't just like okay, it's like for us it's A through Z and you put the words together and blah blah blah. Like it's literally different characters mean different things. They probably got like over 300 characters in their alphabet, and I was like, no, bump this. I'm not doing this. Um, the main things, but it was important for me to at least know um uh what it was you know I like just to saying thank you. I think thank you in Japanese is arigato. Um and then you know just understanding like you know hi bye you know all that stuff and um you know just it's just the basic stuff, but they even had signs that there was instructions like when we went to Kyoto It was this bridge. It started with a G. I will not attempt to say this name, but it had instructions in Japanese and it had instructions in English. And when you cross this said bridge to this place where it was believed to be the meditation and prayer place and one of the most sacred places in Kyoto, then they it literally told you to say what the belief was, and please, when you enter this place, be respectful of that belief and adopt it as yours so that you can behave accordingly. And beyond the bridge, you couldn't like videotape or take pictures or anything. So they were really like there were translations for like the signs that showed Japanese and English, and some places there just wasn't. So it's just I would say, yeah, just basically, it's good to know some Japanese, but it's not the utmost importance. But again, travel with somebody that knows some Japanese. Like, don't just leave it to your own merits.
So, have you had any experiences with any rich people while you were there?
No.
Or like a great network?
Not really. It wasn't really something I was looking to do. I was looking really just to experience Japan and just until it was like, again, this was like what 7 years ago. Where I was when my mind space at 7 years ago was different than what it is now, of course. So I wasn't really looking out there to see how the other half lived. It was more so I was more so just focused on just me having fun. Make sure me and my little brother were good. And just staying in the group and just not offending people. So didn't really get a chance to see too much of how the other half lived. But one thing I could notice based on the population of traveling around in Tokyo, the city itself, it would be kind of difficult to kind of depict who was rich and who wasn't. Like in America out here, you can see people out here wearing like iced out chains with their names on it. You wearing name brand clothing and all the good stuff, and just they flaunt their stuff out. We tend to show or peacock out here and and yeah, and in Japan it's more of like as a man just having that resume, that pedigree.
Yeah, I did heard that Japan is more so about like the certifications, like the paperwork.
100%.
Mm. So, would you say there's any negative traits with the woman there in Japan?
Like they built like sticks. That's the only thing I can say. Like I said, if they had just a little bit more
Wow.
cheeks and just a little bit more, stuff on top, just maybe. But based on their diet, like I said, I lost 6 pounds just from going out there from a week. Okay,
Mm.
so if that's their diet, they stay thin for their whole life. And I like fit chicks. I can't do thin women. Like you got to have a little meat on your bones. Otherwise, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But that's me. That's my preference. That's just to be so specific. Nothing against Japanese women. Like I said, like I iterated earlier, Japanese women are beautiful. And it's just the body type, man. It's just, hey, like I said, if they had additional assets attached to them, they'd be damn near too good to be true. If you explain a Japanese woman to somebody, it's like, but that'd be like the most, I'd say, the negative connotation about them. Another thing too, they hold you accountable. No, this is not a negative thing, but they hold you accountable. Like they smell cap out there. Like people in Japan, they know bloodlines and they know each other. They know family names. They understand that stuff. So if it's like if you associated with somebody that owns Nokia or stuff like that, like that has lineage or just that pedigree that's attached to their name, you lost that woman. Like out here they will look for a high value man. Out there, if you associate with a name, they're like, okay, like that already like knocked you through the door. So I would say just the dating competition out there out there in Japan would be another negative thing, because there's really no, oh, we're gonna build together and all this stuff. Like even if he doesn't have it now, it doesn't mean he won't have it later. Nah, like they heavily, like, the women heavily weigh in on their father's opinion on a man that they deem uh, a good marriage candidate. So it's just it's just different.
Mm. So would you say there's any dangers to be aware of when they're in Tokyo or just
Not for a
Japan in
man.
general?
Not for a man, I don't think. Well, I would say not for me. Any danger, I'm just gonna say this as a traveling tip. Any danger that you have, first of all, don't wear a backpack. Like, people can, like, pickpocketing is so much. Like, they pay attention to that stuff. So I would say, whenever you're out and about, just like travel light. I guess when you're going around the city, like, take what you need. Don't, like, over, like, pack for certain things. So just, like, and this is when you go anywhere, just make sure your stuff is tight. I would say, I would even go as far as, like, if you have a pair of sweats or pants or joggers that have zipper pockets, by all means use them. Um, or even, like, and I know it looks gaudy or taggy, but wallet chains, pocket chains, stuff like that, because, like, pickpocketing is everywhere. So I would say that's really the only danger. Again, out there in Japan, crime really isn't, like, a heavy issue.
Mm. So how can people find you and find out more about you?
um, I'm on Instagram. I'll drop it here. It's actually, let me see. Damn, I'm sorry, I forgot my Instagram handle. I'm really not on it too much lately. I've been focused more so on myself. But if you want my Instagram, it is her.king_reed. That is HER.KING_REED. I will be getting into video game streaming soon. My handle is King Bishop. I'm streaming on Twitch at King_Bishop. And I'm probably gonna start a YouTube streaming gaming as well, and just transfer over. So that's pretty much what you can find me. And then on Twitter as well, my handle is, I'm sorry, like, I haven't been big on social media, guys, but definitely. So my Twitter is at K.Reed himself. I mean, I'm sorry, K_Reed himself. And Devin would have all that stuff in the description and everything. So
Yeah, guys, I will have it in the description box below, so do check it out.
but yeah, no, this definitely do some great questions. Definitely one of the most informal interviews I've been in so far. So I definitely respect the research and everything, and in-depth questions, like the stuff, like, really taps into things that people really oversee, or it clarifies some oversight that people would thus forget to research on. Like, I definitely, like I said, my worst experience was definitely not doing the adequate research. Going out there, I would say calling somebody by their last name and not addressing them by their first name is actually the way that you talk to people, that is in an informal way. People who you're formal with, that you're familiar with, you can call them by their first name.
Mm.
If you're not formal with them, if you're not familiar to them, and you call them by their first name, they're like, "Who are you?" But they knew I was American, so they kind of gave me that slide as, "Oh, he's just an ignorant American." Like, that's their outlook on it. But yeah, it is what it is for that. But yeah, it is, it be what it be.
Mm. Wow. So do you have any last words before we actually end the live stream, Kyle?
Just get out there and travel, but set some goals for you guys yourself. We're in a pandemic, and once this is under control, just just exercise your right to be outside of your box, just to learn. Like, we don't know everything, and we will never know everything, but the biggest thing to expand your knowledge is to get an understanding of the people that you share this planet with. So definitely travel, definitely get out of your comfort zone, and get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's what produces change. That's how you increase knowledge. That's how you increase awareness. And who knows, you may inspire like just like I was inspired from my friend Elijah to travel to Japan. I might have inspired, somebody unknowingly to travel, or not even just Japan, just to travel in general. And then whoever watches this, you may be inspired to travel too. But definitely come up with a plan, financial plan to save up, find a destination, do your research, and pick out your, like I said, travel in groups. If it's your first time in that country, travel in groups at least of 4, and just have fun. Just have fun. Don't be ignorant. The don't bring that BS that we have out here into any other country, because what we do out here may be seen as taboo to other people. So be aware. Don't be ignorant. But definitely want to say the show was fun. The interaction was very. I'm gonna say SJW turned progressive, and definitely look forward to any future conversations. I'd love to be on here again sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to Kyle with the wisdom, man, for the viewers out there.
For sure, guys. I'm only 28, so just keep that in mind. You don't have to be old. You don't have to wait till you're old to travel. You don't have to wait till you're retired. Do it now. Have a good savings plan. Manage your money well. Invest well, and have a plan. If you it work your you plan, so you plan your work your plan, and everything lines up in the end.
And there you have it, guys. Make sure to look after yourself from around the world, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good one.